So let me get this straight. The riots were incited by Trump. Let me break this down a little bit. So the mayor said she was a communistic party leader when she was younger, and now she's a mayor. All right. She called for angry, mad Los Angeles to show up and support all Los Angeles people. All right. ISIS is doing raids. The federal government is doing enforcing the law. I know you California people don't, or I can't say the whole California. I can say LA and San Francisco and the Bay Area. Y'all live in a bubble. Y'all don't get outside information because your news is propaganda pushing people. And y'all have been brainwashed constantly every morning, every evening, and every night, thinking one side and one side only. And I'm sorry, because I've also was acceptable to that. And finally, I woke up and I started doing my own research. And I listened to both sides. And then I come up with my own opinion based on the facts that I can prove, not based on someone's hearsay. So the mayor said because the federal government was enforcing the law in arresting illegal immigrants that committed violent offenses in their communities, in the communities of LA, in the communities of San Francisco, in the communities of the Bay Area. They are pushing drugs, prostitution, human smuggling, all kinds of stuff. Because you bring them to California where it costs $1 million for a normal 2 bedroom, bath with no yard, and you welcome all these immigrants in, and you have no way to give them housing without them becoming welfare. They get used to the handout, and then it's taken away, and that's what creates more crime, more violence. Alright, so the mayor said because Trump was carrying out ISIS raids in the community, it created this. What did it create? The protesters around the federal building. They were trying to, the mob was trying to gain entrance to free all the violent criminal immigrants that had already violated the law. In LA, like any other state, in Texas, if you're an immigrant and you get a DUI, you go to jail. And then the sheriff contacts ISIS or Border Patrol and lets them know that they have an illegal alien that had committed an offense. As soon as they go to court, Texas puts them on probation, deports them, and then violates that probation. So they automatically have a warrant if they try to come back and do, illegally enter again. Now, if they commit a felony, they get sent to prison, automatically paroled, and then deported. That way, if they come back, they automatically have a federal blue warrant on them. Now, California, they hide their rapists, convicted felony immigrants. They hide them from ISIS. They do not let ISIS know that they're in custody. They give them a cash-free bond, and then they slip them out and dismiss the case. That way, it doesn't add up on immigrant crime. They're hiding it. Now, right now, they're destroying LA. And what are they destroying? They're trying to destroy the federal building. That's why Trump federalized the National Guard. Because the mayor failed to protect her citizens and her city, just like during the fires. And she got away with all that. She just happened to leave right before. Come on, man. Anyway, she blames this all on Trump, just like Newman. They're the ones inciting uh, people to act out against the government, all while depending on the federal government's funding. Alright, that's how the federal government controls the states. They give the states money, and with that money comes rules. You know what I mean? So once they get used to that money, they have to keep following the rules. They keep changing. Well, California and New York and these other places that think they're their own countries and they don't have to abide by federal law, they don't have to abide by any of that, they're wrong. Alright, the state can make up their own laws, but every state has federal laws that they have to abide by. You can commit a felony that is not only state prosecutable, but it's also federally prosecutable. So you can be sentenced to two different sentences for the same crime. They're two different entities. Right now, LA business owners who are black and Hispanic business owners, those are the ones that are losing their business. Those are the businesses that are getting burned down and looted and tagged and destroyed. Yeah, y'all aren't hurting Trump. Y'all are destroying your own city. And Biden used to give you a check for all this damages. Well, you're not getting that here. Trump is going to make y'all fit y'all's own city. And people are like, well, why did he bring 2,000 National Guard? I'll tell you why. January 6th, Trump asked Pelosi, which was in charge of security for the Capitol, she denied the 10,000 National Guards on standby. And then when everything went to shit, it was Trump's fault. So Trump got the National Guards. Out of 2,000, only 200 were the only ones they used because the rest were on standby in case something popped off. And then he had 700 Marines just in case. Because if he wasn't ready to shut it down, if somebody did a mass shooting, then that would be all Trump's fault too. You cannot say enforcing federal law is a crime just because you live in a bubble. 49%, 49 other states support what Trump is doing with arresting illegal criminals that violated the law. You can't violate the law, so why should someone else be able to that ain't even from this country? If I go to another country and burn their flag, I'm probably gonna get killed and probably deserve it. But our country is so great that these immigrants are allowed to come over here and burn American flags and without any repercussion because we are a free country. A free country. And yet, look at this. You give people so much that eventually eat their own. That's why communism will always fail. Alright, that's just a little bit of my 2 cents. Tell me what you think. Peace. Common sense from a Southern Christian, white, straight male. God bless.